Canada has been very tough to deal with over the years, and it's not fair that we should have a $200 billion or $250 billion deficit. We don't need them to make our cars, and they make a lot of them. We don't need their lumber because we have our own forests, et cetera, et cetera. We don't need their oil and gas. We have more than anybody.
Welcome to On the Edge from Peace Arch Provincial Park in British Columbia on the Canada-US border. On the Edge, of course, is for educational purposes only and is not investment advice. We're here today because Donald Trump was telling the world in Davos that apparently America doesn't need Canadian energy, Canadian lumber, or Canadian cars. Well, we know that's his negotiating tactics as he seeks to extract higher tariffs on Canadian goods, or perhaps some other concessions from Canada. There's a lot of money at stake here. In 2023, Canada exported $600 billion to the United States, 10% tariff, another $60 billion. But we're not hearing a lot from our political leaders in terms of how they plan to deal with it. Their first line of defense is unfortunately what we've come so used to in Canada is more taxes. The Trudeau government, egged on by the Ford government in Ontario and the EB government in British Columbia, they're pushing for retaliation, which really is code for more taxes on Canadians. We expect that that's not going to work because in the dollars we're talking about, the $60 billion in tariffs applied onto Canadian goods, which we think actually most of that would be, or at least a good chunk of that would be incurred by Americans. But leaving that aside, we're talking about big dollars, and that is going to have to be financed via growth. That isn't going to come from more government spending on bureaucrats, which we've seen as the big growth industry in Ottawa lately. Instead, we're going to have to see the private sector generate more jobs and create more opportunity in Canada. That's going to force our political class to lower taxes and to reduce regulation, which means that now is the time to prepare for this pivot in Canada towards greater opportunity in the private sector. That means coming back to Canada, coming back to the Canadian capital markets, coming back to the Toronto Stock Exchange, the Venture Exchange, the Canadian Securities Exchange, the NEO Exchange, where we're seeing entrepreneurs in Canada take advantage of growth opportunities. So what we're going to be doing at CanadianInsider.com over the next few weeks is posting for free some of the reports that we come across where insiders are signaling opportunity. So if you haven't joined Canadian Insider as a free intro member, sign up today and sign up for the blog, and that's where we'll be distributing some of our reports that we come across to show that there is opportunity in Canada. In our top 40 report that we just released for January, we saw not only opportunity in energy and mining, but also in things like quantum computing and cryptocurrency payments. So there is a wide range of different types of opportunities that we're coming across by letting the insiders guide us to those opportunities. So check out CanadianInsider.com, sign up as an intro member, and let's see where the insiders take us as we see what we think will be an exciting pivot from Canadian politicians, Canadian leadership, to supporting the private sector as opposed to the government sector in the months and years ahead. So take care, everyone, and thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you on CanadianInsider.com soon.